Guys, I am on 74th Street and Roosevelt Avenue in Jackson Heights, Queens, Little India as it's known. And coincidentally, I did a video here about selling gold to a gold shop on this street about a year ago. And it just so happens that that is the gold shop that the woman who got scammed out of $700,000 in gold bought her gold. So let's go take a walk over there and talk about this story. So if you haven't seen the story in the news, there was an elderly woman that lives here in Jackson Heights, and she was on her computer and some message popped up to say that her account got hacked and to call this number, and of course it was a scam.
How much did you end up sending these scammers?
$700,000.
$700,000
total.
Eva Rothman was warned to keep what she was doing a secret.
This is FTC Officer John from the Federal Trade Commission Department.
She was convinced by this imposter, pretending to work for the government, that her bank accounts were hacked and that she was being watched.
Well, they were saying that I was under surveillance and that I could go to jail if I told anybody, and I can't even tell my own family that lives with me because they would be taken into custody.
And the scammers want to see how far they can get away with getting money from her. And so they said they were from the Treasury Department and her account got scammed and she needs to take some money out and put it in a shoebox and leave it in front of her house, and a courier came and picked it up, and she did that. And they told her, do not tell anybody, you could be arrested and all kinds of stuff, so that she doesn't let her family know, who will obviously tell her that it's a scam and ruin the whole scam. So once they got that, they went further and told her that she needs to convert all her life savings into gold to secure her account, and that they would pick that up as well. And they sent like fake receipts and stuff like that. If you don't know, Jackson Heights here is a gold center to some extent, not like the Diamond District in Manhattan, but for gold Indian jewelry like this stuff, it is, you know, ground zero really in New York City, I would say. But there are some bullion dealers as well, like this guy, New York Gold Co. on the second floor. And that's where the woman came to buy the gold.
Eva was then told to come here to Jackson Heights to a specific store and buy gold bars. She did this 3 times. In the space of 1 week, she would take a taxi, go up to the shop, purchase gold bars and gold coins.
I asked her, I said, what are you going to do with all this gold? She said, I want to give it to my daughter.
The first purchase, May 15th, was $123,000, then $249,000. 10-ounce 24-karat bars a day later went up to $305,000. The grand total with the shoebox 20K in cash, $698,355.
They even asked me to take pictures of it and just bring it downstairs and put it in the car.
If it can happen to my family, it can happen to anybody.
And that's where she was directed by the scammers. Now, to be clear, this guy has nothing to do with the scam. They just looked up gold dealer in this woman's neighborhood, probably the closest one, and sent her over there. Now, this whole scam could have been stopped because this woman was questioned or warned by 3 different people. One was the bank where she was taking out the money. They questioned her and they said, look, you're a whatever 70-something-year-old lady and you're trying to take out all this money. This sounds like a scam. What are you doing? You know, don't do it. And she kept secret like the scammers told her to. And then she went and cashed out her mutual funds at a brokerage account, and the financial advisor that was assigned to that account told her the same thing. He said, why are you taking this money out? Are you getting scammed? What's going on here? Don't do it. Don't take your money out and send it to somebody. But she didn't tell them about the scam because, again, she was threatened with jail. And lastly, the gold dealer here, who was completely not in on the scam at all, but obviously he's happy to sell this gold to a big customer, but even he questioned it because he might sell a lot to Indian people who maybe buy a lot of gold and give it to their family because they don't trust banks or something like that. This lady was an Indian, and he questioned her. He said, why are you taking out all this money right now? You know, what's going on? Because she came back 3 times to buy more and more gold. and she told the guy, oh, I'm giving it to my daughter, you know, I'm going to buy this gold bars and give it to my daughter. It's plausible, so at least he questioned it, but at the end of the day, it's her money and her decision, and so she went ahead with it. And on 3 different purchases, she bought all this gold and put it where the couriers came and picked it up. And basically that was the end of it, and she's out over $700,000, her whole life savings, everything she worked for, given to these scammers. So guys, if you have elderly people in your lives, warn them ahead of time of stuff like this, and tell them that if anybody contacts them from the internet or anything like that, have a trusted person to go tell the whole story to, so that they can set them straight and not let them get scammed. Now, what these scammers did to this elderly lady is illegal, but there are a lot more seniors losing large chunks of their life savings to a different, not technically a scam, but a scam of these Gold IRA dealers that you see in the commercials on shows that a lot of old people watch. And you can get scammed by them, and it is technically legal, and there's nothing you can do about it, so be forewarned. And the way the scam works is they put a trusted, conservative, old guy that old people recognize and trust. They pay him a lot of money. He says, inflation is coming, the Democrats are going to eat your money, blah, blah, blah. And they think that they're on your side, which is even worse, because when somebody who you think is on your side is trying to scam money from you, they really don't give a crap about you. And so what they do is they say, call this number, go to the website, and they show American Gold Eagles for your IRA and stuff like that. But what they really do is they say, call this number for prices. They get a fast-talking salesman to get you to send them money, and then they tell you what they're going to sell you. And they sell you these highly marked up coins, like quarter-ounce coins for like $1,200 or something like that, which is $4,800 an ounce, something wildly overpriced. Their commission is like 30 to 50% on everything you buy. And although they disclose it, it is probably disclosed in some fine print or fast-talking over the phone or something like that, where everything they do is technically legal, and you buy this IRA and you put it away, and guess what? It's like the perfect crime, because most likely you're going to die and give that to your heirs, and your heirs are not going to know what you paid for it, and they're just going to go, oh, we just got a whole bunch of gold IRA, and they're just going to go and sell it at whatever the current price is. And so if 5-10 years down the line, gold is trading at $4,800 an ounce, and you finally recoup your money because you bought it when it was $3,000 an ounce, but you're paying $4,800 an ounce, and your heirs get $4,800, they're happy, and nobody's the wiser. They have no idea. And so it's one of those things that they put fear to get you to part with a large chunk of money up front. They take the huge chunk of value out of it, and either you never realize or your heirs don't realize when they finally get it. So stay away from any online dealer that does not post specific prices for their specific coins. If you have to call them to get the prices, those are crappy prices. And if they have the money to continuously put ads on TV with highly paid spokespeople, that's because they're making huge margins on you. The gold business is a very small margin business if you're dealing with bullion, 1 ounce coins, 1 ounce bars, that kind of thing, 4% or something like that. There's not enough money in it to pay for spokespeople and commercials constantly on primetime TV. And that brings us to another subject, the subject of what do you do with your stack when you die? Most people don't want to think about that, but the reality is that your wife, your husband, your kids, they don't give a crap about your collection or what it's worth or anything like that, and they have no clue. Whatever you've been putting together as a collection, spending hours and hours searching and researching and buying stuff and going to coin shows and putting your stack together, at the end of the day, your heirs are just going to take the whole collection most likely and go to the first coin shop, or worse, pawn shop, that's going to offer them very little of what the actual collection is worth. So even though you're gone, I'm sure you want your heirs to get the full amount of what your collection is worth. So how do you do that? Well, I recommend not having numismatic coins, but if you're gonna have them, at least make a list of what they are, where to find the current prices, realistic prices, not just book prices, and have one or two dealers that you deal with, preferably local, that you recommend them to take your whole collection to. All right, so that's a lot of work and a lot of steps that most people are not going to take, or maybe the dealers are out of business by the time you pass or something like that. So I recommend, if you think you're getting up in age or you have some health problems or something, at a minimum, sell your numismatic collection and turn it into just very easy bullion products like 1 ounce silver, 10 ounce silver, 100 ounce silver, 1 ounce gold, and things like that, and then just have a nice, neat note. You know, just say, hey, go to Kitco, look at the price of gold per ounce, and now you know what each of these things is worth. So that way, when they finally inherit everything you have, they're not going to get taken to the cleaners and only get like half of the value that you spent so much of your time, money, effort, and energy to build up. So guys, the biggest risk is not these one-off stories you hear of some old lady getting scammed for $700,000. The more common one is overpaying for these gold IRAs by famous people on late night TV and stuff like that. These news shows and all of these kinds of things that try to scare you first. Inflation's coming, the economy, the dollar's gonna crash, we're gonna go to barter economy, grid down, blah, blah, blah. Buy this gold IRA and overpay by 30–50%. That's where you lose the most of your money. And the other one is when you give it to your heirs and they have no idea what it is, no instructions, and they just go to the first coin shop or pawn shop and sell it for, you know, 50 to 70% of what it's actually worth. So guys, I hope you liked this video and found some good information. And if you are in Jackson Heights and want to buy or sell gold or silver, go check out this guy. Just don't go hand it off to some treasury courier that contacts you over the internet. Thanks for watching, guys.